It's time to continue reading in 1 Corinthians. We're in chapter 14, and we're down to verse 20. These past several verses have been talking about these gifts that God gives, gifts of tongues, gifts of prophecy. And these last verses have been making these comparisons about the importance of prophecy and how both are gifts from God, but it's talking about the value for believers when it comes to the gift of prophecy. So we continue reading. We're in verse 20. Brothers and sisters, see, Paul is talking to fellow believers. Don't be childish in your thinking. Don't think as children. Okay, let's be adults. But be infants in regard to evil. Don't grow up in evil. Stay an infant. Stay away from it. Don't grow up in evil. So be infants in regard to evil, and adult in your thinking. Be an adult. Thinking as an adult. Too many times as an adult, I still think like a child, and that is not pleasing to God. Verse 21, it is written in the law. So now Paul is quoting from the law which the Jewish people held to. I will speak to this people by people of other tongues, and by the lips of foreigners, and even then they will not listen to me. What did he say? I believe he says he's going to use these tongues, these unknown tongues to us, to speak to people who will understand them, to people and people of other tongues. God's going to allow them to speak a language they don't know, but others know it and will hear the gospel. But he's saying, even then, they will not listen to me. He's saying, people, even when they hear, still say no to the gospel, probably more often than they say yes. So let me read that again. It's written in the law. I will speak to this people by people of other tongues, different languages, and by the lips of foreigners. And even then, they will not listen to me, says the Lord. Verse 22. So speaking in other tongues then is intended as a sign, a way to speak the gospel, not for believers, but for unbelievers, people that have not heard. They can hear in their tongue. That gift was given for that purpose. While prophecy is not for unbelievers, but for believers. Prophecy that we can grow and hear from God as believers. We need to continue to grow and hear from Him. Verse 23, if, therefore, the whole church comes together, the whole church assembles, we all come together, and all are speaking in other tongues. I've been to those churches when I was small. And people who are outsiders or unbelievers come in, will they not say, you're out of your minds? If someone comes into your church and everybody is speaking this unknown language, don't you think people are going to say, what is wrong with these people? They're out of their minds. Verse 24, but if all are prophesying, speaking the words of truth that have come from God so that people can understand. If all are prophesying and some unbeliever or outsider comes in, he's convicted. He feels in his heart, oh, I have a problem. He's convicted by all and is called to account by all. He can be convicted means not to be charged with a crime, but it's similar. When I'm convicted, I understand, oh, I have sinned. I have a problem. God, forgive me. So he's convicted when he hears the truth as these people have prophesied. He's convicted by all and is called to account by all. Verse 25, the secrets of his heart will be revealed, and as a result, he will fall face down and worship God, proclaiming God is really among you. He has recognized that these people, where he is gathered, and he's heard this prophecy, he has heard the truth, he has acknowledged, he has made known, I have sinned. God, forgive me. And now he says, God is really among you. It's not easy to understand all of these things. Tongues have, among many believers, have always been a mysterious gift that people look at differently. It is a gift from God. But let's note what Paul is saying. How much more important is it to prophesy, that people can understand the truth, hear from God, and have their lives changed? We'll continue next time in chapter 14.